we actually named it because we've been a women's group that has been since its conception around about 2015. Are we right?
Yep.
And it was we started just with a couple of small business owners, a couple of other veterinarians and other managers getting together and saying, God, it's tough. Like basically, what are we doing wrong? How we're making mistakes? Can we help each other? Can we support each other to do a better job within our industry? We've got Sarah, who's also a veterinary physio, and just explaining to the wider world that veterinary physios are actually more qualified than veterinarians. So she joined the group, and we've been working on business subjects as well as extending to mentorship, where Nicole Brown from Milford has taken the sort of a leadership role in developing other avenues for mentorship for our younger veterinarians, as well as those changing careers, those going into motherhood, coming back from motherhood, and really it's been a sort of an evolving process where we've actually gone back to the people that have joined us organically and said, well, what do you want us to do? And a big thing that came out of that was basically a lot of people, women especially, and not just women, men, leaving the industry because of problems with stress management and also having to care for a family on top of being a full-time veterinarian isn't that easy. So from there we sort of thought, well, if we actually look outside of our industry and say, well, are there speakers out there that could actually help us with our essential solutions? What could they bring to us that we don't already know about? So a friend of mine, I was walking in the park, and she's a really fantastic veterinarian, same vintage as me, been out about 25 years, and she's still working in the industry. But she said to me, Megan, like, the one thing that's really, really hard is that like I'm a partner and a wife. I'm a mother, and I'm a veterinarian. I do a crap job at all three things. And I said, well, you don't. Like it's probably our A-type personalities, which we didn't get tagged with on the toe when we were born, but we seem to develop along the way as veterinarians. I said, like we're not, we're just doing our best. But she's saying, it's just really tough all around, and I'm not sure I can stay in the industry. So from there, it was like, okay, I read an article in the Business Management magazine, and basically that was about gender diversity, yes, family values, keeping people working in the industry, male and female, who have to look after primary caregivers, a lot of solo families or split families. So we have to think about that too, and also keeping talent in the workplace, and how hard is it when you lose a good veterinarian. So Katie came along. I sent out a random email saying, random question, would you like to come and talk to us about this initiative that we're seeing through this magazine article in Vodafone? Have you got anything that maybe you could offer? And she was a bit like, I don't know much about the industry. I said, I don't think it matters, So when I looked at your credentials, I'm like, oh, you're well qualified. Okay. Head of HR Centres of Expertise of Vodafone, and also leading the HR team there, and your main role to play is creating an engaging and inclusive workplace. So you've been there since 2008, and before that, different finance, law, manufacturing, retail, agricultural, chemicals, petrochemicals. I said, it sounds like you're the woman for us, just bring something to this to this industry, and also had a master's and a science degree, which certainly is where we all came from. So when we should say she does looking after herself too, because there's a little bit of yoga, which is always on the to-do list for me, and also a young family and a husband. So I think Katie truly understands like some of the challenges that face us, and really she's coming to us with some ideas tonight about how do you keep especially women in the industry, because that's our women's group is, we know that 75 to 85% of new graduates are women. How do we keep them in the industry, and how do we support them to do this? Because for our the long But it's a long career, and it should be a long career. And why do we fall out? And why do we give up when we're so impatient to do so? So hopefully, I'd like to get some ideas from Katie. And Katie, I hope it's not too awe-inspiring to start with. It's a very casual group, so there's no
This really might be a little bit. If I don't use that, you can maybe hear me at the back?
Yes.
Yeah, fantastic. I've got to say, the last time I used something like that, I think I was singing like a virgin karaoke. It didn't go down well, so I think maybe I'll skip the microphone. Thank you very much, Nick, for introducing me. I'm going to say the description of me that kind of, thanks, Nicole, thank you very much, that really rings true more than what you describe is that I'm a working mum of 3 children, aged 6.5 through to 11.5, and I kind of teeter on that knife edge between control and chaos on a sort of second-by-second basis. That's kind of like how I identify myself and how I think about myself, much more than being an HR professional, which comes and goes. I find sometimes I feel professionally HR, and sometimes I feel quite unprofessionally HR. So what I thought I would do is talk about a number of things. Why is gender diversity important? What's the business case for it? Why should we do it? Why do we care about it? Above the fact that I personally care about it a great deal because it's about me, right? But other than that, why do we want to care? Why should we care about it? What's the reason for doing this thing? For focusing and paying attention and spending our resource and time on it. What Vodafone does, so I'm really super conscious. Vodafone is a global organisation. In New Zealand, we have 3,000 employees. Globally, we have about 150,000 employees. We're a little bit different than some of the people in the room who have a small business. But I'm going to share with you what we do because there might be some things in it and some principles in it that maybe that's something you can pull out and go, that sounds interesting. Have around what some ideas are for you and what you possibly could do. Now, I'm going to come at it, as Megan said, from a very naive perspective about your industry. So bear with me as I give you what are some thoughts and ideas we just offer them up to you and see if they're useful. And then lastly, I thought might be useful is to, I always quite like going to these things and having something to take away. That's cool, it's nice pragmatic thing I can do tomorrow. So let me give you a tool that I found to be really useful, a technique that I use and that I work with my team and with the wider Vodafone team to put into place, which I think helps these kind of conversations, the gender conversation, and other critical, crucial and difficult conversations. Sound like what you're expecting in Walter Hill? Yeah, apart from the booze and the pizza. Okay, great. So, why do it? I think there are 4 key reasons, or the 4 reasons that I pitch into my organisation. And you can imagine my organisation, just as a bit of background. I'm in the tech space globally. 21% of the tech workforce are women. 21%. And it's dropping. So girls very early on opt out of technology and they go more into my daughters are currently aiming for, actually one did want to be a vet. She would go now to go into hairdressing. Yeah. I'm like, you are aiming in the right direction. The other is quite keen to be a librarian. So, which is good, books are good, right? But kids opt out about the age of 6. Girls start saying that technology is for boys. So our industry is really low. In New Zealand, in Vodafone, we are 38% women, which is fantastic, but it's not 50-50 women. Why shouldn't we all aim for 50-50, given that our New Zealand population is about 51% female, 49% male? Women are taking over the world, that's what they're saying. I've got the audience I've got tonight. Welcome all the men in the room. So Vodafone is in a tricky position because we are playing with a really small case. But if you take New Zealand, you look at our unemployment rate. How's the unemployment rate is right now? Yeah, 5.2. So it's dropping. It was 6. It's dropping down to about 5.2. It's really low, right? Super low. The participation rate. Does anyone know about participation rate? People who choose to be in work. So there's people who say, I don't want to be in work, for example, I'm unpaid work at home, or I'm choosing not to be part of the workforce, but the participation rate, so adults of working age who are in the workforce, 70%. It's really high, isn't it? So you've got very few people who are wanting work and can't find it, 5.2%. You've got very few people who are not wanting to work, who are not choosing to be in the workforce. 70% of people choose to be in the workforce. And you have 51% of the population who are female. The labour market in New Zealand requires us to engage with women as well as men. Otherwise, you're not going to find people. You're not going to be able to hire people. The labour market requires it. So there is no choice. Otherwise, you're going to run out of candidates pretty damn quickly. Number one, the labour market requires it. Secondly, it makes business sense. If you heard of McKinsey & Co, global consultancy, they did a study, and what's great about McKinsey is that people can go, McKinsey going, they're pretty high class, they're pretty cool. So I always use them because if they say something, it's probably true because they're super bright people. They did a study in late 2015, global study, and they found that if you have a gender balanced leadership team, you have that business on average has 15% higher levels of profitability than if you have a non-gender balanced leadership team. 15%. That's worth going after, right? Study last year found that if you have a gender balanced senior leadership team, you are likely to have 38% more market share than your competitors who are not gender balanced at a senior leadership team. Other work has found and you have higher business results in total. So the labour market requires us all to engage with the full options of men and women and anybody who's intersex. And it makes business sense to create a gender balanced organisation. Thirdly, our population is 51% women, as I said. The percentage of consumer decisions or purchasing decisions made by women is you was going yeah, what a frock on the weekend. But a liquor yesterday. I think I'm really contributing to the economy right now. 70 to 80% of all consumer decisions, all purchasing decisions, are made by women. It's worth going after, right? And what
we can make the decision, we're just not allowed.
Yeah, exactly. You're walking into the car showroom going, honey, I really like this car, and she goes, I don't like the colour. You're gone. I say that from experience. That was me and my husband. That wasn't hypothetical, that was literally me. That was literally me. So purchasing power sits with women. And we know that if the people in the organisation, if your employees, or if you, as the worker, reflects the customer base, you are more likely to get that purchase, or to get that service required, or to get the cash out of that person if you reflect them. Let me give you a story. Let me tell you an example. I was in Italy a little while ago now, actually. I was in a little tiny hilltop village, and I walked into it was like a haberdashery, and it was probably, it kind of feels like this, and it was really long and narrow, and it had like boxes going up and down all three sides. There was a counter at the back. Nobody inside. I think that's cool. There were like sheets over here and nighties over here, but what I was looking for was a bra. I was thinking, it's going to be a bit tricky because I don't speak Italian, buongiorno, nothing else. Let's see how we get on. And I was kind of thinking, do I have to kind of learn how to do that? And I walked up to the counter and I was like, sort of thing, and a man walked out. Hey, buongiorno, how can I help you? Oh my god. Safe to say, I bought myself a pair of sheets from him. I did not like her up. But small example, and I know it's vivid because it was about lingerie, right? I don't know how many of you usually one for a bra, but I didn't at the time.
I struggle.
Yeah. I'm with you. You feel my pain, right? Totally. Yeah. But just a small example of how if that person reflects me, then I'm more likely to buy. Here's another example for you. Vodafone has just set up a Chinese language team inside our call centre. What we know is we have a lot of our customers are first language Chinese speakers. And what we were finding was that their satisfaction rates of our call centre were incredibly low. So they were really unhappy with the service we were providing them. And what we found was the reason was because they said, you don't understand me. I ring you, and I don't mean accent or language, you don't understand me and my needs and what I am looking for from your service and what I'm looking for from my mobile provider. And so we put into place a Chinese language team who can speak the language, which is important, but who have the same life experiences. So just like the man, I presumed, I did make some assumptions to be fair, didn't wear bras. Perhaps he did in his own time. He wasn't wearing one at the time. Let me put it that way. We put in a team who go, I get you, I know you. The satisfaction levels from that team compared to the rest of our call centre is quadruple. 4 times. 4 times the level of satisfaction. Because why? Because we are reflecting our customer base. So, 3 key reasons. The labour market requires it, particularly for you guys, right? Skill shortages, you're on the list. And then what were you saying, within 75-85% of all grads of vets? There's no choice. You can't get away from it. It's not about hiring women or not, it's about how do you hire them and keep them. Yeah? So, labour market requires it. It makes great business sense to do it. There's a profitable business case for it. It's not about saying, I need to hire women or I want a successful business. You must hire women if you have more men. Or if you only have women, you can get more men, obviously. I need a gender balance to create performance. You need to reflect your customer base. But there is one other reason, which I think is the reason that actually trumps all those 3. Unless you're talking to my leadership team, in which case you go hard on the factual stuff, right? Which is in Vodafone, our global CEO is a guy called Vittorio Calari. She's so interesting, I've got a theme here. He's an Italian man. That theme's not deliberate. Super bright guy, worked at McKinsey, that's another thing for you. And he pulls together every year the top 250 people in the organisation. So we have 150,000 people, it brings in the top 250. Imagine how many of these people are unbelievable. They're heads of the universe kind of thing. Pulls them into a room. And they talk about commercial performance and what's going on in the marketplaces and who's winning and who's losing, and it's very intense. And our HR director, the last one, which was in June last year, so our global HR director, guy called Ron Michalikins, gets up and he pitches what I've just pitched about gender, about diversity. And it's in Vodafone, it's diversity is gender, youth, and ethnicity. So for us, it's women, youth, and minority. But Ronald was pitching hard on gender, and he gave all the reasons I just described. As you would, right? A bunch of hardcore business owners, of course you could go that way. And then Victoria got up. I won't do the accent. Can't do the accent. And he said, all of that's true. However, I am uncomfortable leaving it with that argument, because if none of that was true, if you didn't need to do it because the labour market in the globally requires it, if it wasn't because it makes good business sense, if it wasn't because we have to protect our customer base, if none of that was true, would we stop aiming for gender diversity? No. We do it because it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do. Societally, community, family, and personally, it's the right thing to do. And for me, that's why we do it, right? Gender diversity is the right thing to do. So, there's your reasons. Those are my reasons at least. So, that's the why. What can you do to encourage and support gender diversity in your organisation? Now, I'm presuming here it's about supporting more women, right? I talk about gender diversity because I need to be very careful when I talk to people about not being seen to be highly focused on women. So I talk about gender diversity, but let's talk about women. What do we do? So what we do is that we focus in on key life choices. So we focus on 1, helping young women make the right decision to choose technology as a career. Clearly it's the right decision, right? Yes, whatever. So we go to schools, we get involved in the Bright Sparks program, which is about encouraging young people to choose their technology career. We work with young girls with computing competitions. We run robot creation competitions, so we try and encourage young girls, and when I say young, I mean between the ages of 6 and 12, to choose technology as a career. So you go for that really beginning, what do I choose to be? Who do I choose to be? That's the first thing. The second thing is we try and access women when they start their career. So we have a graduate program. Graduate program, we have an ambition of hiring 60% women as a minimum. I'd like it to be more, but we have 60% women. Trying to bring in a pipeline of young women into our organisation who we then have an ambition and a responsibility to retain in our business. So we go after high levels of women in the very early stages of their career and say join Vodafone and then stay with Vodafone. So our grad program focuses heavily on bringing them into the organisation. Unsurprisingly, we then focus on when women decide to have a family. Not all women do, but many choose to have families. And so we work on supporting women to exit the business, to go on mat leave. So we are in a fortunate position where we can afford to top up people's salaries. So they take the government payout, and then we top up to their regular pay for the 16-week period. They then go on leave. We do various retention activities, and then they come back and they stagger back in the workforce, and we pay them to come back full time, but they work 30 hours a week for the first 6 months. So we stagger them back into the workforce. We also run a bunch of buddying and a bunch of mentoring. I think many of us in the room, how many people have kids? Yeah. So if you go on long-term parental leave, by long-term I personally think it's more like 3 weeks, but the long-term parental leave, often your confidence gets knocked. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and she's a really top-flight lawyer, and we were talking, and she'd come back on that leave about 6 months ago. She said, my first 3 months, I was looking at these graduates who just joined 6 months ago, and I thought, I kept on saying to myself, these people are better than me. They can do this job, and I can't do this job. I used to be able to do it when I was a kid, and now I can't do it. It's really I felt quite mushy. And that's normal. So our job as managers is to help them come back and say, this is really normal, here's someone who's done this before, and they can help you with the experience. So you get to go, oh my God, this is a disaster, I can't remember how the hell to spell my name, I never know my password. Yeah, it's cool, I did the same thing, don't worry, it's cool, it's going to come back to you. And a mentor, somebody who is able to say, hey, I was where you were 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, this is what I can help you, these are the life lessons that I can share with you. Interestingly, the research shows that women in particular respond incredibly well to mentors, incredibly well. Better than men, interestingly. I'm not sure why, but the research, maybe it's just basic intelligence. But it is something that works really well. So really great to hear Nicole is doing that, because mentoring for women is really powerful. So that's what we do, and then we also work with women who've been out of the workforce for a really long time. So people have been out of the workforce between 1 and 10 years. We're in a program called Reconnect, which we launched only a few weeks ago. Anybody hear about it during International Women's Week? And Reconnect is about going out and finding women who have been out of the workforce for whatever reason, for quite a long period of time, more than just taking mat leave. So they're not on a mat leave break, they've done something different, bringing them back into the workforce. And then what that looks like is that we pay them for 4 days a week, and they work, 5 days a week, and they work 4 days a week, and we put mentoring and buddying around them. So bringing people back into our workforce is mission critical, because it's quite easy to find people. It's quite easy to shepherd them through when they're not having all these life changes and conflicting priorities, but then they get out of the workforce, they decouple emotionally and psychologically with you as a business. Then our job is to reconnect them and to support them to come back and go, I can do this. I can rebuild my confidence, I can rebuild my sense of capability, and I can do the job, even though sometimes perhaps I feel like I can't. last thing that we do is we work with people to retain them. So we have a pretty good ratio of senior women in our business, senior women to senior men in our business, but you've got it's an ongoing job to retain people and to create that pipeline coming through. So we do things like buddying, we do mentoring, we do networks. This is perfect. This is what it's about. Getting together and having chats and go, well, how do you do that thing? And how do you do that? Oh, that's really interesting. And I'm not going to do that, but it's interesting. I'm going to do this thing over here. And we run what we call talking circles or lean-in circles. Anyone read the book Lean-In? Yeah. So anybody read Gloria Steinem? Anyone into Gloria Steinem? Gloria Steinem, anyone know who Gloria Steinem is? Yeah. Did anybody go and see her when she was at the Writers' Festival last year? She is, and this is me being a feminist, she is really, really beautiful. She's gorgeous. I was sitting there going, as a feminist, I should be sitting here going, yeah, to be right sister. I was just going, oh, you're really attractive. But she talks about the fact that women are traditionally, and this is traditionally, collaborative and non-hierarchical. And in a minute I'm going to talk to you about why that's the case. And she says that the power of women it comes when you get into circles and you chat. She calls them talking circles. She got the idea from the Native American Indian communities, which is very matriarchal, and they did a lot. They chatted and talked a lot. And then they came up with ideas and concepts and supported each other through talking circles. Kind of this, right? Those are powerful because the key thing that helps women go further in a profession isn't being offered the opportunity. It isn't thinking I can do it. It's that they can see somebody else who's done it before them. Someone who looks like me who's done it before. Visible role models. That's the key. So that's what we try and do. We try and hook up senior women and more junior women and say, hey, this is senior woman. Look what an amazingly cool time she's having. You could do that too. When we talk about what she's done to get where she's got to and how she can help you get there as well. But you want to go after that, don't you? Because she's having fun. Visible role modeling is critical. And hard to find sometimes. Partially, I think that's why the internal thing is. So that's what Vodafone does. And you can see that we're really lucky because a lot of it requires investment. Now, what we say is that investment is offset by the business returns I described earlier. But if you're a small business, you've got a cash flow differential that's a little bit different to Vodafone's cash flow position. Maybe that gets a bit tricky. So let me talk to you about some of the things that I think you could do, which really are principles that drive the Vodafone program. There are a couple of things that come through. One, for women, there are two things that women value more than men, interestingly. Now, I'm talking in massive generalities. You've got like a little distribution curve. I'm talking right bang in that middle of those first two standard deviations either side, right? So there will always be exceptions. It's hot, isn't it? You're right. Yeah. What we could do actually, we could take our bras off and burn them. That might be quite fun. You especially. So there are two things that women go after. One is flexible working. Whether flexible working means pattern of work, whether it means place of work, whether it means style of work, whether it means variety of work, flexible working is key in order to help them have that work-life balance. I think the room probably is still aware that mostly women carry most of the unpaid work in the home still. So that flexibility is really, really critical. So any way that you can find that flexibility is really powerful as a retainer of women. Now, I'm not going to talk to you about what that flexibility should look like because it means completely different things for each of us. So for me, I work a compressed week. I work 40 hours, possibly a little bit more. 40 hours is my ambition, Monday to Thursday. And then I have Friday off because I used to spend time with my children. Now I'm just going, there's no way in hell I'm giving a Friday off. But I pick my kids up from school in the afternoon and they ignore me and we watch TV. Sad, but so true. But that's what I do. Now, other people aren't. Well, that's a waste of my time, but I'm going to work 9 to 3. And I'm going to have my kids after school, which is what my other team does. Or others will say, actually, I'm really happy to work 9 to 5, but I want to work from home 1 day a week. It'll be different for all of us. The trick is to have a conversation and say, what do you need and how can we find a compromise or a way through to make that work. Flexible working is critical. Interestingly enough, if you look at people's level of engagement or happiness at work, which is a major lead indicator to retention or staying at work, simply asking the question lifts engagement. So if you want to be super cynical, just ask the question. Want to talk about flexible working? Can't have it. Fine. So just ask, hey, I'm seeing these two. Go, yes! Quick, write that down. Nothing else down tonight, but I'm writing that down. Actually, here's my top. My top tip is there should be a longer pause between you talk about flexible working and the no. 30 seconds, maybe slightly longer pause. So just offering it up. Why? Because one of the big drivers of engagement, what I call engagement, what really means simply happiness at work, is that my manager or my leader cares about my well-being. So that's what you're doing, demonstrating care and concern. So that's the first thing. The second value is that women have required their workplace to share their values. Let me give you an example. I had two senior women leave Vodafone in very quick succession. For really good reasons, they wanted to go into C-suite roles, and I didn't have one for them, so they were sitting, you can imagine, got the like a CTO, CMO, directorship level here, they were sitting down here, and I didn't have vacancies, and they wanted to move, and they got poached. So they went into C-suite roles. Great, fantastic for them, brilliant. From my perspective, it's really exciting, cultivating as a woman, I want to go to the top table, and I don't want you to go. So I had a chat to one and said, hey, talk to me about why you left. I know that there was a big pull factor, because it was a really great gig, but if you've been super happy at Vodafone, I'm not sure you would have gone for it. Let's talk about it. And she said, you know, it's really interesting. One of the reasons, so there was a big pull factor. She went to an amazing job. She said, one of the reasons that I decided to go was I was in what I call my exec teams meeting, which basically is the CEO and his top table. So the guys, when I say guy, I mean people who are on the table, who lead the business. I was at one of those teams, and I was proposing, she's a marketeer, I was offering up a new product. And to get to a place where the exec were happy with the product, they tore it apart. So I didn't take paper and tear it apart. And they got to a place that they were happy with what I was suggesting because they argued it, because they attacked it, because they tore it apart and rebuilt it up and couldn't find weaknesses in it. They treated it like an animal to hunt. She said, I felt that was an attack on me. I didn't like it. And so I left. One conversation. Not that big a deal. She got what she wanted. She got the product through. Not a very nice experience. But it counted her values, which were around, we work on this together, we're on the same team, I respect your expertise. It counted her values, and she made a choice to leave because it counted her values. So women go after flexible working, or at least the appearance of supporting flexible working, and they go after a workplace which shares their values, or at least doesn't come across their values. The other thing to be aware of is that women are collaborative by nature. And as I say, I'm talking about that middle part of the distribution curve. If somebody puts their hand up and says, actually, my child does not collaborate and she's a female, then I'm going to ask you to go and sit in psychology 101 classes, which I mean, that happens all the time. Did anybody do psych here? No? There were always these people in the middle row. I mean, I did psych straight from school, so I was 19. And there were always the mature students. The lecturer would go, here's the theory of, I don't know, infant development. And somebody in the front would go, excuse me, my daughter didn't do that. Like, seriously. That is not to negate the piece of global research. So work with me as I talk in generalities. Okay? But one of the reasons that happens is that our kids socialize in this direction. So let me give you an example. I've got 3 children. I've got a boy and 2 girls. My 11.5-year-old is a little boy called Louis, not particularly boyish, I'd like to think. He's a nice guy, but he's really into Lego. And so we sit down together, and I go, hang on, okay, he goes, yeah, cool. Let's play pirates, and you build a ship, and I'll build a bigger ship, and then we'll have a fight and see who wins, right? And I go, okay, well, we could play spaceman, and you build a spaceship, and I'll build a bigger spaceship, and then we'll see who wins that. Or, and I go, I don't want to play fighting games. Because it's like, yeah, that's cool. Look, you build a tower, I'll build a tower, we see which is the best. Right? I sit down with my, not my 9-year-old, she's not interested, my 6-year-old, hey, we play Lego. She goes, great, should we build a house? And then we can, put our Lego friends in and we can have tea party. Boys socialise to winning, to competition, to antagonistic. I don't mean that in an aggressive way, but just me against you. Let's have a fight. Let's play guns. I'll kill you, and then that means that I get to win. Or my tower is bigger than your tower. Or my pirate ship is bigger than your pirate ship. Or I've got more pirates. Or I play Dungeons and Dragons, and I get to kill the dragon. That means I get the dragon. There are no winners at dolls.
That's a quote, right there.
So people, on average, generally speaking, socialise. So women go collaboration. Now, my friend that I was talking about was clearly going, that wasn't collaborative, and it wasn't a collaborative thing, I didn't like it. But women really value collaboration. They also value non-hierarchical environments. What do you think? Oh, well, that's cool, because that's what I think. And let's have a dialogue, let's debate it. I was travelling for work, and one of my colleagues, who was a male, had gone on ahead, and he said the same car came and picked us both up from the airport, but at different times. And I got out of the airport, and the driver was a female. It's cool. And she said, "Oh, hey, just put your bag into the boot." I think I'll put my bag into the boot. She said, "Oh, come and sit with me up the front." Cool. And I sat at the front, chatted on the way back to the hotel. So I was like, "Wow, that's interesting." And actually, that's how I walked into the hotel and I saw my colleague, and that's interesting. She's very nice, but it was very, hey, she asked me to sit at the front, and I wasn't really expecting it because I'm going to do some work. He goes, "Oh, it didn't happen to me." She was playing the power dead even rule, which is, well, you're a female, so we are equal. There's no hierarchy with women. Or, this afternoon, I was walking up some stairs, and our new customer operations director, who's female, I was walking up the stairs, and she said, "Hey, nice rock." What did I say? I didn't say, "Hey, thanks, I really like it too." I went, "Yeah, support pantyhose." Why? Because she pushed me up, and I was pushing myself back down, so we could be power dead even. We could be the same. We could be non-hierarchical. We could be friends, and we could be equal. So, how do you create an environment, a work environment, that enables that to happen? You do it through dialogue, collaboration, asking for ideas, going for autonomy and ownership in decision making. Yeah, makes sense? So, those are some things that you can think about. That I think about is with my team, around how I create a female-friendly environment. You go after the values they're going for, and you know their styles, collaboration, power to them, and you try and go after that in terms of the way that you communicate and manage.
How do you discover people's values? That's such an important thing. How's a good way to bring those out of people and get them to lose it what they are?
If I stand up here drinking this, I feel a little
That's
bit
good
like...
value.
Yeah. I feel a little bit like I should be a stand-up comedian, to be honest. I feel like Amy Schumer, only not quite as cool and as effective. How do you find it out? I think it's really easy. You ask them. That's all you do. So you ask them. I could stand here and say there's lots of tools you can use. You can get assessments to do it. You can use lots of things. Ultimately, it's just a conversation. So, and what I would do is I would sit down with my guys and say, "Hey, look, we're interested to know more about you. Tell me about yourself. What is it? Tell me about your background. Tell me about your life." We pick up lots of stuff through life histories. There's a thing that, how many people have sort of teams of more than sort of 4 people? Okay. So if you're wanting a structure, if it feels a bit scary to kind of just go, "Hey, what are your values?" There is a technique that you can use which is called the shield exercise. Anyone come across the shield exercise? might know by different names. You have a team offsite or a team meeting or however you run, when you get together, and you give everyone a piece of paper and a pen, and you say, this is your personal shield or your crest. And in it there are 4 quadrants. One is, and you're not allowed to use words apart from the very bottom, but you're not allowed to use words, you have to draw, which freaks people out. It's quite fun to watch. And the first one is, draw me a picture of your family. The second one is, draw me what you value. The third one is, draw me why you do what you do. And the last one is, what makes you happy. And then in the bottom, I want to see what your life's motto is. Now, it's kind of fun, and you give people, like big crayons and markers, and you sort of take them back to secondary school. So God, my secondary school probably your fun too. My university days actually. So you sort of disarm people, and you get them to talk about themselves. You learn a lot from people talking about their life history. This is my background. This is what happened to me. Now I've done it with big groups of very senior people and much more junior people as well. And people get really vulnerable and really prepared to share themselves. I've had people in tears. I've had people freak you out. But I've had people really give of themselves, which is a couple of things. Vulnerability drives connectedness. So you build a stronger team through having people be vulnerable and sharing something of themselves. But it gives you as the leader an understanding of who that person is, what their values are. If you can't bother doing that, just ask them. Okay? So, those are some ideas for you. They may or may not work for you as people and as business owners. But I'm going to tell you a bit about this tool, and let me open it up and let's have a chat and let's answer any questions that you've got or any challenges that you might have in terms of, hey man, my kid doesn't play golf. I'm happy to have a conversation. But let me give you this tool. So, in fact, you were saying it yourself, I always think the currency of working parents, whether you're male or female, I really couldn't care less, is guilt, right? It's guilty all the time, isn't it? Like, I've got to start late to work, but at the same time, I didn't spend enough time. I'm going to leave work, I haven't finished that project, but at the same time, I've just missed my kids' bedtime. The currency of working parents is guilt, isn't it? The currency of leaders is conversation. We haven't got anything else. We literally have nothing else. All we can do is talk. So you want to have great conversations. Often you can have very challenging conversations or need to have challenging conversations or avoid challenging conversations to the very best of your ability for years because it's too scary. But if only you had the conversation earlier, whether it's about values or anything else, you might have got greater understanding, you might have got a greater outcome, you might have retained that individual. And there's a technique called crucial conversation. Have you come across crucial conversations? Yeah, great. There's a really good book called How to Have a Crucial Conversation. Maybe it's quite a creative title. But I think I'm pretty sure it's called How to Have a Crucial Conversation. Look for crucial conversations. And it describes how you can have that difficult conversation. Like, for example, hey, I'm working 40 hours a week and I want to go part-time. Or you want to go flexi-time and I can't afford for you to do that. So how do you have that difficult conversation and still maintain the relationship and move forward, and if you're lucky, build the relationship stronger? How do you do that? Holy grail of leadership, right? How do you get a great conversation happening where you both get what you want, or at least you get an acceptable compromise, and you build a relationship, or at least you don't break the relationship in the process? A couple of things that you do, it's quite straightforward. The first one is that you make sure that you have a shared sense of purpose and meaning. So you make sure that you know that you're on the same team. So as an example, you might say, hey, we both do what we do because we've got a passion to make sure that our community's animals are happy and healthy. As an example. So the person goes, yeah, that's true. We are on the same page. We are on the same team. We are being collaborative. We are on the same tribe. Great. Inside that shared purpose, or inside that sense of shared meaning, we need to talk about a particular topic, which at the moment is feeling a bit niggly or a bit tricky or a little bit scary. And I think it could potentially hurt our relationship, which I don't want to do, because ultimately we are here for the same reason. And then you tell your story about how you got to where you are. So as an example, let's take flexible working. Hey, as a business owner, I need to maximise all of the revenue from potential customers that I possibly can, and so I feel like I need to have the doors of my clinic open from 9 to 8. You can tell I'm making it up. And so I'm worried about you asking for flexible working because I need you to be here. And then you ask for them or you invite them to share their story, why they are where they are. Well, it's really interesting that you say that because I totally understand what you're saying. However, I really want to go home at 4 o'clock because my kid needs help with her homework. And what I've noticed is that the pattern of people coming into the clinic really takes us off after 3:30, and I honestly don't think you're going to lose much more than, I don't know, 1% of business. So you get a shared pool of meaning, a shared purpose. You tell your story, how you got to the position and why you're where you are. They share their situation or why they're where they are. And then you sit there and you work on the problem you've created rather than on the person you're talking to. So rather than that, you're being difficult, you don't understand me, you don't understand my business, you don't understand the pressures I'm at, you're just being really unreasonable. You go to them, agree to understand what the problem is, let's dialogue and debate it. Having agreed previously, who's the decision maker? Hey, it's a business owner, clearly going to make the final decision, but let's debate and dialogue because we want to hear what you're thinking and we want to find a way through it as possibly can. And you look for a way where nobody loses and everybody wins. So it's called a crucial conversation. I have really bastardized what is a really fabulously elegant model and framework. So if you're interested, go and find it. It's called Crucial Conversations. But it's a simple tool that you can use to have really effective conversations. And as I say, so we've got one. As business owners and as leaders and as colleagues, we can just talk to each other. What the old hard comes. Otherwise, what can you do? So, in summary, we talked about why, what's the business case, why on earth would we be bothered with increasing gender diversity in the workplace, what Vodafone does, and maybe some stuff in there for you that might be interesting. Some ideas on what you could do, which is simply about recognising people where they're at and their styles and what they're looking for to align yourself to their needs. And then lastly, just a little tool which may or may not be useful to you. I use it a lot and find it super useful, but it may or may not be something that you want to work with. Thoughts, questions, comments, challenges? Well, I just drink and pretend I'm a sugar.
I had to have a crucial conversation with my boss, and I was really scared because I wanted to cut down my hours, and because he's a very approachable, nice guy, and actually once I did talk to him and explain my situation and what I wanted, but I still wanted to be involved in the business, he was amazingly open to the idea, and we worked together and we both reached compromise, and it was like all that fear and trepidation, and like I got one of my friends to come and help sit with me because we were worried what he was going to be like, and there was no problem. It was like a revelation, and it was like changed my life. So I encourage everyone to give it a go.
Nice. Yeah, fantastic. Great story. Well done, you. Very great. But it can be super scary.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Particularly when you're not sure what to expect
Yes.
from it and whether how that person's going to react. But I think now going in and saying we're on the same page, we want the same thing, is a really nice place to start. Good on you, well done. Very great. Have I stunned you all to silence?
I was just going to say from a business owner's point of view, I think something I did learn, along the way, when it came to managing my staff and having veterinarians and veterinary nurses and everyone I work with, was actually known core values. Like it's actually I think so essential that you actually know yourself what your business essence is and what you actually stand for, so that you can actually refer back to that. So if there's business owners in the room, you actually have to sit down and do the work yourself before you can actually even have that conversation. So
That's a really, really good point.
Yeah, that just having your ethics and values written down, so you can say, well, okay, we align, we don't align.
Yeah. If only for your recruitment process.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. For finding that next person.
Yeah, exactly. It's interesting that you say that. When we do quite a lot of leadership development work, leaders. And the first step of leadership development is knowing yourself. So you're right, without knowing who I am and how I impact on others, you can't lead anybody else. So you're absolutely right.
I think as veterinarians, we've all got it in our head. Like we're like, we sort of telepathically, like, well, why aren't you acting like I am?
Yeah.
Why aren't you doing what I said, what I do?
Yeah.
And I think that it was very important for me to actually realise, well, I actually have to write that down and communicate that.
Yes, exactly.
So my, as a group, as a leader, was basically about my communication skills, which were pretty poor at the start.
Yeah. Takes time to build them up. Yeah. Knowing what stands for is critical. And then helping people understand it.
And referring back to it, makes it easier for them to want that job because we have the same or not.
I was at a team meeting outside today. My team has just become a people leader. And she said, we were talking about people's development needs. And she said, mine is to work out what my leadership presence is, which is kind of what you're saying. Who am I as a leader? What do I wish to stand for? What's my brand, if you like? And then how do I communicate that to my people? There's lots of choices around how you lead people. And you've got to make sure that they're the right choices for you.
This might be a little bit off piece and the can of worms that you don't want to get into. So
go for it.
I'm a large animal vet, so not like most people here. I've got a collection in practice. But anyway, I've just come from the South Island and I heard something quite disturbing this morning. Not that anyone won't know any different, but there's a bit of a gender pay inequality in vet practices, and most bosses are male. But I heard of 2 examples today where husband and wife teams in the same practice, the wives got paid less. They're both new grads together or whatever. So how do women address that in vet practice? Like, how can we get the same salary as our husbands or our classmates?
Yep.
Or ideally more than them?
Totally. 10% premium. Absolutely. Just a big female. I love it. That's perfect. You guys should go after that, seriously. That should be your thing. 10%. If you join this talking circle in my language, you get a 10% premium. Look, pay parity is a really interesting conversation. I think there's been a nationwide conversation about it recently as part of International this week, hasn't there? And the recent research that came out that conversation was based on was that 80% of the pay differential between the genders is unexplained. So you can talk about, you go further in your career, you're taking time out to have kids, and 80% is non-explainable by rational stuff. So it's all unconscious bias work. Unconscious bias in the manager and in us. So we have a role to play. Now, if you're talking about what do we do as people who are wanting the pay rather than the people who are having to make the pay decisions, the best thing to do is to armour up. And what I mean by that is know what you deserve and then you go out and ask for it. So do your research. What is that guy getting over there? And then you add your cheeky 10% and you go and ask for that. But you don't rock it and go, hi, what are you going to offer me? Because whatever isn't going to accept it. Women, interestingly, are much more prone to not negotiate salary. So when you look at the research, graduates start, if you're in a formal graduate program, normally graduates start at exactly the same pay. Within 18 months, and then paid more. 18 months. Part of that is bias. Part of that is that women are not negotiating properly. Or they're not negotiating at all. So armour up, know your stuff, go and do your research, understand the market, and then you go and negotiate. You have a crucial conversation. But you armour up, you go in with knowledge, and then you ask for it. Now what you don't do, interestingly, is you don't go in and say, George gets more money than me, and you should pay me the same. You don't do that. Why? Why don't you do that? What have we just done to the person that you just said that to? Well, yeah. You want 10% more. I like it, it's perfect, yeah. It's that whole benchmark thing. George is he's not my benchmark, he's a loser. That is a good point. Why us? So from an interpersonal dynamic perspective, you're having a crucial conversation. You're wanting to have a safe environment where you're looking for a solution that nobody loses and everybody wins. What have you just done?
Able to come to
parties.
It's not collaborative.
Yeah, you just set it up so someone gets to lose, right? Someone's going to lose in that conversation. Either the let's call him a man, is going to say, well, okay, fine, you can have the same as George. He's not going to feel very happy about it. And you're going to not feel particularly happy because, hey, it's just a hygiene factor. I deserve more than that loser over there anyway, but okay, forgive me as much. Nobody's going to be happy. Or he doesn't give it to you, and he knows that you had a conversation that you shouldn't have been having because you shouldn't be talking about salaries with each other. He's going to be unhappy with you, and you're going to be unhappy as well. So you set up a lose-lose environment. If you're unlucky, you set up a win-lose if you're lucky, but you don't get double wins. So you never have that conversation. You don't care. You do care. You don't reference other people in that way. You reference why I deserve a pay rise for these really great reasons. I'm amazing. I know how to do X, Y, Z skills, blah, 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 blah. My customer feedback is exceptional, whatever your KPIs are, to be honest, I don't know what they are, but whatever your success measures look like, lots and lots and lots of facts that you just roll off knowing what you deserve because you've done your research, and you negotiate hard. Now, with negotiation, you normally, you guys know how to negotiate, right? Which is you go in and you always plan to peg back because then you might have one of it. Yeah, so you go just go a little bit higher, go 5% higher and get the 10%. Does that help? So we have to own it. There is the pay. So did anyone here come across Paula? What's her name? Deputy Prime Minister. Very important person. Paula Bennett talked about it. There was a pay gap. What she's talking about is that if you look at whole industries, they are biased towards men at the top and women at the bottom. So if you average out the pay, so you take, I don't know, in an industry there are 200 people, there's 100 men and 100 women, you go, what's the average pay for the men versus the average pay for the women. That's the gap she's talking about. She's not talking about like-for-like roles. So actually the pay gap between like-for-like roles is way smaller. I'm not saying it's not there, but it's way smaller. Therefore, you're not really up against a systemic issue, you're up against a personal issue. People will pay what they can get away with. So you don't get away with it. But you go, half of that base, it's all about me, I know the market, I know the facts, I absolutely back myself. I put a little premium on, I'm prepared to move back from that, that's what I'm going for. And you know that the power is with you. Look at this, the labour market stats I was talking about. The power is with the employee, right? I mean, 75 skill shortage jobs in this country, and you guys are one of them. Be brave, be confident. Be brave is the point that you're making. But be confident with it. And go and say, be very polite, you're having a crucial conversation, I'm going for a win-win. We both really want this business to be successful. This is the reason, this is my story about why I deserve a raise. What's your story? And then they've got to go, what's my reason for you not deserving it? It's kind of hard, right? But own it yourself. Does that help?
Thanks.
Somebody else? Yeah.
Just after your experience and wisdom in dealing with in someone part of the team when you're trying to first reach the common ground and discuss morals, and they just don't want to participate at all.
They don't want to participate?
Yeah, at all. So how you kind of can come around.
Yeah.
Switch.
So normally there are two ways people avoid participating. It's silence, which is normally the way that people feel sort of slightly more acceptable, and the second, which is violence. Let me them come out fighting. But they can go on the defensive, they can attack, and so so what do you mean you want to have a conversation about that? I'm far too busy, I don't have time. Or they can go silent, which is both of those styles or techniques happen because you haven't got a safe environment with that person. You haven't got a relationship that creates safety. You can, and unfortunately, normally it takes time to do that. But I would suggest that you find ways to ask yourself, why do they not feel okay having this conversation with me? What is it I'm doing that stops them feeling safe? And then work on it. People do want to dialogue, they do want to debate, they do want to have conversations, they do want to solutions, that person will come around. It may just take some time. If you wanted to, you could try and short circuit that relationship build or that trust building by confronting the situation. So you could say, hey, can we go 5 minutes? Normally you take them outside the work environment, so you go for a coffee, or you often what works interestingly is that you go for a walking meeting, so you're not having to look at each other, you're walking and talking at the same time, which can work really nicely. You can say, hey, look, my experience, so this isn't the truth, it's just my truth. My experience is that you and I have problems. I don't understand particularly why, but we have difficulty facing into challenging conversations with each other. I really love us to be able to do that because I think it would help both of us be more successful, help both of us, whatever your shared purpose is, help animals in our community or whatever it is. I think it would be really helpful. I'd love to understand more about what is it that I'm doing or we're doing between us that is stopping that happening. Can you share something with me? So same thing. You own the issue. You ask for their help. You build it off a base of common purpose or common meaning. Hey, we're the same, on the same team. And I think we can be a better team if we're able to work in a more open, honest, and truthful way with each other. I just make yourself vulnerable. I'm not sure what to do. I don't know how to build that relationship with you. Can you help me? Failing that with your husband. Or your partner, whoever their desired gender is. So it can take time, is what I'm saying. But if you want to try and short circuit it, you can try that conversation and just say, I need your help. I really want to do blah. I don't know how to make it happen for us. Have you got any ideas? Now they might go and not want to engage with you, in which case you go, okay, I need to find other ways to. This is a really unsafe environment for whatever reason. I need to find ways to create safety. People will, when they feel unsafe, they will disengage. When they feel safe, they will engage. As an example today, I had my team in a room, and I said to them, right, what we're going to do today, because our financial year has just begun. And I said, to set us up for the year, we're going to talk about plans and what we're going to do, and then we're going to give each other feedback on what each other needs to work on developmentally. So what we were really going to do in the room was we're going to share each other's weaknesses and give feedback on whether that was the right weakness or not. Yeah, I like the idea that you're feeling vulnerable and lacking confidence. That's not your issue. Actually, you're really bad at what you do.
It's very simple.
That's
Is that team building?
We did the shield first, and then we went to that. No, that's not good. That was not true. But it was phenomenal to see these 8 people sitting in the room helping each other with what was pretty controversial is the wrong word, pretty constructive feedback. Some people say, oh, I feel like one of the team said, sometimes I avoid stuff, and I'm not sure how to do it. I kind of don't feel comfortable asking people, and I avoid it, and then it gets to the last minute, and I don't do a very good job, and I've got to try and work on facing into things more quickly. And one of the team goes, yeah. Here's an example for you. And then they shared an example about how that person avoided an issue, and it was a major problem for the other person. In this perfectly open, honest, collaborative, friendly way, the other person's going, see? Yes, that is absolutely. We're in agreement about the fact that I've got problems with avoiding stuff. And everyone else going, yeah. And then the conversation then went to, what can we do to help you? Beautiful, right? Incredibly safe environment. People want to talk, even about their weaknesses, even about the stuff that makes them feel vulnerable, even about the stuff that they go, if I talk to this, I might let somebody else know that I'm not doing that. I don't think I'm doing the best job possible. Even when my manager is in the room, who's about to review my pay, because I feel safe. That's what you're going after.
I just want to word to this was Katie. Thank you very much, Katie, for your support regarding find that the same thing get discussed, and it's actually gossip being discussed with people that can't do stuff about it. And the tail end of the same conversations over and over again without having to be able to do something again, may have seen that outsourcing it, taking it outside, taking to people that actually have these smart answers. So we've got a consultant that helps us. And what I've done to go, that you don't have to deal with some of these problems all over and over again, in between of the monthly meetings, which is either an inspirational, don't use that word, speaker, or small group mentoring or committee meetings, we actually set up a Skype type of platform. So you can be or whatever who wants to have mentoring or coaching be at home, because we wanted to take it outside of Auckland, because we've got a lot of interest in people in the more suburban, a lot of rural, large animal vets say, I'm feeling isolated, I don't know what to do. So we set that up from last month onwards. It's published on our website. If anyone having the same problems over and over again that wants to talk about it, we hired someone that does mentoring professionally. We've got a platform that is semi-anonymous with little screens. You can be on and off the camera, and you can be at home. And actually, it was amazing. The biggest thing when I remember things in some of the WISE meetings we have is either new graduates getting up and sharing their experience after a few weeks being in work and being so brave to put their hand up. And a lot of people think, actually, I had that experience, but that was 20 years ago. I forgot about how ugly it was. Or having a specialist getting up and say, actually, I'm scared of every surgery that I'm planning to do because I'm worried of failing. And we're like, oh, you're a specialist, you're supposed to be like God. But having these like new graduates versus sharing specialists and seeing the common denominator of you're all the same. And that's what I find is so passionate about the mentorship, that you don't have to draw it out of them, but they see each other in someone else's story, and then they warm up about it, and it does help a lot. So if any one of the employers feel like I'm a bit stuck with it, I send them to the Holy Grail, but it's just a start to go and work.
Very cool. Any more? Anything else?
How it doesn't apply to you, but if you're an older individual and you have young folk that come in, millennials,
Thank you very much.
how do you sort of break that or develop that relationship with these new people that are coming through? Have you got any thoughts with regard to them?
We're talking like millennials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Snapchat, yeah.
What's that?
Get on there.
I reckon the key is what you do is you really denigrate Facebook and like, you are my part of my, you are my kind of guys. Look, it's a really good question, and it's a lot of people are talking about that because of course by 2022, 50% of the workforce are going to be millennials, 50%. But most people in managerial roles are Gen Xers. There are some value-based differences between Gen X and millennials. The one that I think is, actually there are two that I think are the most impactful on the misses you get in your relationships between the Gen X and millennials. One is that values-wise, millennials live to work. Sorry, Gen Xers live to work, millennials work to live. So very fundamental difference to why I'm on this earth. I'm here to work, and I get my satisfaction out of work. I get my sense of self-actualization out of work versus, yeah, I'm going to go to work and do my best. Millennials have is a degree of impatience, which is, cool, I'm a graduate today. I reckon 18 months, I'll probably be the owner of the business. It's not a Gen X thing. Like, I sit and go, you uppity little... Because it didn't take me 18 months to get my own business still. So those are the two key things that create kind of the crunch and the sort of the abrasion that happens between them. I think there are two things to do. One is to understand it. There's lots of research out there, lots of papers talking about exactly what I'm talking about, but much more eloquently than I can. So to understand and to expect it and to know that it's coming, or know that it may be coming. Again, I'm only talking But you go. Well, that is quite on the street, wasn't it?
Just put the fingers in the wall there.
Yeah.
There we go. Now you
A few more acronyms in there.
Yeah. I better get more straight. But you talk to what they want and how they're going to get it. So, for example, let's say the person goes, "I want to do your job. I want your job in 18 months." Okay, cool. What do you think the skill set is today? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, cool. Let's talk about what skill set you require to be in my role. What do you think it is? And I go, "Oh, well, it's kind of the same as mine, isn't it?" It is yours plus. Okay. Information differential. I don't get it because they're a grad, for example. And then you go, cool. So if that's where you are now, this is where you've got to. Let's talk about what the immediate. Or us try and say, you don't know and I know, or you're not okay and I am okay. Transaction analysis. You help them go on the journey. So know what to expect, or do as much prep as you can. Have conversations, helping them go on the journey knowing that probably they're not going to get to your role in 25 years. They probably will go down and get there in 5 years' time. It's okay, it's just not 18 months away. So it's a known problem. It's something that a lot of people are working on really hard. But again, the only thing you can do is talk. It's the only thing you've got. You've just got conversation, and the conversation is there to aid understanding both ways.
As much as I agree with the frustration, I think we all share that with Gen Xer, but it's, I think there's also a lot of opportunity in that. Like I think all the people I work with are probably all millennials by now, but they also have a huge drive, and I think it's a matter that I don't have to push them in any direction. They go and I just shape. And I think that's a huge joy to work with if you can kind of feed them.
You can unhouse it.
Yeah, because they absolutely have that, and a lot more. And once they kind of realise that a few knocks, and they also learn a few experiences, they do come a bit back to it sometimes. But I think there's huge joy in that.
Yeah, nice. It's really nice seeing somebody else grow and develop, isn't
Yeah.
it? And the other thing that I say about millennials is they are really into authenticity. Authentic experiences, never ever being in there other than authentically yourself. I'm talking generalities again just to remind myself. That's what I'm doing. And they value social responsibility. So one of the things that Vodafone is doing is we have a very large charitable foundation that we don't talk about a great deal because we're frightened that people will think we do it because we want to be a market opportunity, which is completely not the case. So we deliberately have a policy of just not talking about it. But actually, from an attraction perspective, we need to start talking about it because millennials are really into the triple bottom line. More so. So we're going for authenticity, authentic experiences, hence the Burning Man thing. And they're going after triple bottom line. What are you doing to help that interconnected world that they all live in much more than we live in? What are you doing to help your community? What are you doing to help each other in what now is a society which is very much this is what it's about. So to encourage women into any industry and into any organisation, it starts with this kind of thing. A bunch of people getting in a room, sharing experiences, sharing knowledge and information, and seeing other people doing what you do or doing more than what you do, who are aspirational, who look like you. So I think it's brilliant. I think it's such a fantastic initiative. I'm really delighted that I could come and have a chat to you and meet you all. But keep doing it. This is exactly what it's about. I'm going to go back to Vodafone and say,